day 2. Tanya here, and I had to skip a song. And I started singing and realized it's not true. So when it's not true, I can't sing it. I didn't like it. So I'm going to page 2 of my book. I was going to start from the beginning and go through. I have to be careful because these were written by people that these people back in the day, this was written in 1872, have the best knowledge that they have, but sometimes you find like they call Jesus in some of these songs. I've noticed they'll call Jesus the Lord, and another song it'll say the Lord is Emmanuel, but the Lord is a separate person from Jesus, who is a separate person from God, who is a separate person. All three are separate. And God, what is God? Maybe I should go into that. But I'll go into that after I sing this Angel Voices Ever Singing. This is the song that I picked, page 2. Angel voices ever singing round thy throne of light. Angel harps forever ringing, rest not day nor night. Thousands only live to bless thee and confess thee Lord of might. Lord, we know thy love rejoices over each work of thine. Thou dost ears and hands with voices for thy praise combine. Craftsman, art, and muses measure for thy pleasure didst design. Some of these words I've never heard of. Here, great Lord, today we offer of thine own to thee, and for thine acceptance proffer all unworthily hearts and minds and hands and voices in our choicest melody. Honor, glory, might, and merit thine shall ever be. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, blessed Trinity, of the best that thou hast given, earth and heaven render thee. Amen. So, these words that I had never heard of. Let's go back. Craftsman, art, and I think it's music's measure. I was wrong. I thought it said muses measure. Okay, so it's music's measure. I've heard of that word, and I just sang it wrong. My apologies. Proffer. Acceptance proffer. And for thine, for you, acceptance provide. Proffer, provide. I'm sure that's what it means. Okay, so I think that's a beautiful song. It turned out really well. It was created in 1872, and Angel Voices Ever Sing. So that's the start of it. But let's go into what is God? How do you describe God? People worship God in different ways. Muslims say Allah. Blacks believe in God, and some pray to like a spirit, in a sense, spirit, and it's a belief in something. God is belief in something, and believe that there's a higher someone that is above all others. That's how some put it. How else can it be put? It can be put so many different ways. So what is it to you? What does God mean to you? What should God do? What should God help me through all my troubles? Is God around? Is God all-knowing? Is God the fear of God in you? Did someone put the fear of God in you? You know, there's so many different terms to it, and there's Buddha, and there's people pray to different things, even figures, different gods, um, but there's only one God, and that's what I believe. One God, and that's it. Um, that God is someone that, um, if you look outside and you walk out there, you see stars and you see a sky and you see a moon and you see a sun, and some pray to that, to pray to rain, like the Indians, um, and there's many different planets beyond this universe. You see pictures from NASA, and you see all these planets, and there's asteroids, and there's this, and there's that, and there's the other thing. I can't describe it all, but there's black holes. There's all kinds of things out there, and there's other planets, and we have so many planets in our solar system, and then our solar system, um, these planets revolve around the sun, and we are moving. It doesn't feel like we're moving, but we really are. We're revolving around the sun, and the moon. The sun rises, and then the sun sets, and the moon rises, and it sets. So we revolve around the sun and the moon, and they're on opposite ends of each other. So we revolve around all that. And in our solar system, outside of our solar system, we can't breathe. We have to wear these big spacesuits, and we can't breathe that air. If we do, we last 2 hours and 20 minutes to be exact. So we can't breathe the air out there. We have to have spacesuits, and someone created the spacesuits, and someone. But what did God do? Some people thought it was science, and some people think it's science, and they probably still do think it's science. Some people, even that go to church, may think science is the reason we're all here, and maybe they think science is the reason that there's a planet, and that it all happened from a little cell. Who knows what they think? And then the cell somehow became a planet, or something became a planet somehow. They have no idea. Some people believe it's a magic, very magical, that all of this can be here, and that things can just happen, and there's no explanation as to why. Some people believe it's a power or energy, like kryptonite and those superhero movies, and that they believe that there's a strength and things can happen from a power or energy. But how did it all come about? Oh, okay. It came about a long, long time ago, and I, from what I know, this is what I know. It took 4 numbers, a 4-digit number, and 70 zeros to create one thing to appear for God. One thing just appeared all of a sudden. And that was a lot of talking to yourself, and that was a lot of being alone, and that was a lot of darkness for one thing to just appear by saying all kinds of stuff. And then it said that worked, and something happened. Wow, okay. So then all of a sudden, another thing and another thing. I started to figure it all out. And then after you figure it all out, then there's a planet, and the first life form was an alien. They don't look like us, and they can breathe the outside air. We can't breathe. And that alien, there was a whole bunch of aliens. There's 4 planets of them. And then after that, it developed into different types of life forms. And then the first universe was created, and a human that looks or represents us was created. And then you have to sustain life so that person can live on for a long time. And God sustains life so things can go on for a long time. And to do that, so many things have to work together, and so many things have to happen. So there is a God that made all this stuff possible. This is what I believe. And you don't have to believe it. And you can think I'm just telling some big bib and I'm being very crazy like. But we've proved that there's alien life forms. There's pictures on YouTube of alien life forms coming off a spaceship, and they look like E.T. There's a movie called Extraterrestrial E.T., and that's what the first aliens look like. And then there was Adam and Eve, and there was dinosaurs, and the dinosaurs went away, and there's Adam and Eve, and then there's different colors. How did all the different colors come about? Yeah, different colors do different cultures, different people, all over the place, and nobody is really. We're all unique, and we can all think for ourselves, and we can all make our own choices and decisions, and we're so complicated, it's not even funny. We're all different. No one's going to do the same thing given the same situation, unless if it's orderly and you have to do the same thing, like a repetition. Okay, so what can God do? God got you all here. God got it so it can go on for a long time, and God wants to see everybody at peace and everybody happy and loving. God is love. Some people say God is love. Some people say God is we'll put the fear of God in you. What does that mean? What does all of this mean? It's a very complicated thing. All of it's so complicated that it's how you take it. The fear of God in you. What would that come about? That if you don't want anything to exist and you want to get rid of what's here, maybe God would put fear into you. So you're like a terrorist. Or then you have where God is love. God wants everybody to find someone and love and enjoy the time that's here. And God wishes the best for everybody. But God can't be everywhere. Can't watch over every single person. God's busy and does things, and I'm sure God is going through stuff just like everybody else goes through stuff. And I'm sure God's not perfect. I'm sure God has flaws. Everybody has flaws. But I'm sure God means well. And I'm sure God wants the best for you. And it's here because God wanted it to be here. Because God didn't want to be alone out in the darkness, and wanted to create something for everybody to appreciate. God wanted to create for you to have life. God wanted life. God wanted animals. God wanted plants. God wanted trees. God wanted rivers. God wanted streams. God wanted everything that is here is because of God. Not because of science, not because of magic, not because of a power or an energy. It's because God perfected it to where we are right now. And it's perfect. It really is. People think for themselves and do their own thing. But some hate them too. God wishes people didn't hate. I'm sure God would frown upon it and not like it. But they hate for a reason. So God's glad they have a reason for their hate. But is their reason the right reason? Is it because of a lie? Is it because of someone and you're following someone else? Is it, what's the hate from? Is it something you went through? And can God help in some way so maybe you wouldn't it wouldn't be so bad, and you would lighten up. And some people hate, and when they hate one person for doing something, then they hate the whole group. And that's when you get like minds together, and then they form groups, and then you have your hate groups, like minds. And is that all based on the truth? There's a lot of lies out there. If you can wiggle your way between a lot, you're doing good. Some people you meet will lie about themselves, and they're not proud of who they are. And or they won't think you like them if they just realize how boring they are. So they want to sound exciting and appealing, and they want to be with you, or they want to get you in bed. Who knows? People do things for all different types of reasons, but they have a reason. There's only a few people that don't have a reason for what they do, and they just do things, and it's just very, very few. Everybody else has a reason for what they do, and everybody makes their own choices and their own decisions, and in that, they find themselves, and they find out who they are and what they like and what they don't like. Some people are still searching for that. Life is complicated. We're complicated. And getting to know yourself and your bodies and everything about you is complicated. And then you can't fit someone into your mold of what you want them to be like. You can't have them be the way you want them to be. They're their own person. You have to accept people for their differences. And that's what some people don't know how to do. They want you to say a certain thing a certain way. You're not going to know how to say it. You're going to say it the way you want to say it. Nobody can tell you what to do. You have to make your own mind up for yourself. But they can give you advice. Why not? They can give you helpful hints of what they do, but it doesn't mean you have to do what they say to do. You do what you want to do. This is your life. You live it, and you live it the way you want to live it. Don't let anybody tell you what the fuck to do. And I made this 18 and up. I like to swear. Sorry, swearing's okay in my book, and my book's holy. So, I don't know if I should. I don't know. Anyways, I wanted to say that it's very intriguing. All of it is very intriguing. And you can believe whatever you want. And do you believe in reincarnation? Some people get reincarnated. I got my memory back, and I realized I've been different people along the way. And one person I've been is Mary, Jesus' mom. And I remember that. You can say she's full of shit. This is just beyond me. And I don't go to church. Mary doesn't go to church. You would think Mary would go to church every day and not miss a beat. Mary's not perfect. I'm Mary. I'm not perfect. I'm Tanya too. So I was reincarnated, and I was brought back with different people. So I'm Tanya now. And that's what I go by, and that's my name. And I'm still alive, and I'm kicking. So this is how I know all this stuff. I raised Jesus till 15, and then he went on his way. And then I had to witness his death, and that's why I know exactly what he said when he was being beaten. And we all go through things, and Jesus died on the cross like that, and it was hard to see, but Jesus did what he wanted to do, and Jesus stood up for so many people, and he had so many followers, and so many people believed in him that he's still talked about today, which is pretty amazing, that he had so much weight and so much help to so many people, to give some bitty hope that if they sin, their sins can be forgiven and they can be washed away, and that Jesus is watching over them, and heaven is, and there's angels, and we all have a guardian angel that's watching over us. And isn't that nice to know? And even hell wants us to do good. Hell wants it to go on for a long time. So hell wants, they like to lie, and they like to do this, and they like to do that, you know. They like to do things that are bad, but they still hope in their own little way for those people that are in their lives too, or were in their lives. Up and down, work together to try to help all of us. So it'll go on for a long time. And so we can go on and not all of a sudden die, you know, or commit suicide, or do this or do that. If someone from hell saw that someone they loved was going to commit suicide, they'd step in. So what the hell are you doing? You know, they'd step in and they'd try to help them out, so they would have a reason to go on. Even hell cares. We all care. We care. But we can't. Some people say, and this is the big one, blame God for what has happened. 2 of my sons died. It's God's fault. It's heaven's fault. It's everybody else's fault. It's not anybody's fault. It's an accident, or it just happened, and freak thing happened. It woke up and dead because heart it wasn't enlarged, and it just quit beating, and there's no getting them back, you know. I ain't been dead too long. They don't always know. They can't always know.
Mom, can you clean the shower tomorrow?
And please stop. I'm doing something. Close the door. Thank you. So, we can't always be there for everybody, but we try to, in our own little ways, help out and watch over people and try to get them rescued or saved so they don't go through the worst things that they ever might not be able to get over. So we try to intervene and we try to help. And we get to live on forever in heaven or in hell. And we try to get everybody there too. So everybody goes to heaven or everybody goes to hell. Instead of just being in limbo and not making it to either. We try to make sure we account for everyone. Because everybody matters. There's a song, it's One More Light by, I think it's Linkin Park. And one light goes out, and we care. It matters. We don't want that light to go out until their time. And someone lives to 90 and you say they lived a full life. We wish everyone could live till 90. That's not always the case. And the other thing is, we wish everybody could live as they are, who they are. It's very important. We need to be ourselves. And no one should take that from us. And all of a sudden one day wake up and you're somebody else. You're some other person. And you got a different life. And you were just married with 2 kids. What do you do? I know somebody that happened to. And he was married with 2 kids. And he woke up and he said, this is your name. This is what you look like. This is where you live. This is your jobs. And this is your life. These are your friends. This is your account passwords. Da 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 da. Here you go. Good luck. See you later. And he didn't want that life. He wanted his wife and his 2 kids, worried that something was going to happen to them. And I just give him hope that hopefully he can get back to who he was. And he looks different. Doesn't even look like what he used to look like. That's a challenge in itself. And it happens to a lot of people. We all deserve to be who we are, as we are. And as we were brought into this world. even I look different about times. And I'll say I had teeth surgery. The surgery was actually a brain transfer, and I ended up with a different body for most of my life. And then I had back surgery. And when I had my back surgery, I ended up in a different body again. And that was the original body that I had before the teeth surgery. So I got my body back. But people wouldn't accept me and said, that's not her. I'm not supposed to have that body. That body doesn't belong to me. So then chaos broke up, and all these people started to change other people into people that they're not. And I think it started from that. And that's when it started to be pretty profound. That a lot of people were, I look different. Why did I look different? And why do I have a different body? They were mad. They thought I was supposed to have the other body. And I was taking it away from someone else. I never did that. I woke up and I didn't notice too much difference. Other than the person I was with looked different too. And one had hair and one didn't. You know? And I used to cut the one's hair. And then all of a sudden I wake up and he doesn't have hair. Where'd his hair go? So I got a different life. But I didn't. I still had the same family and I still had the same name. It just looked a little different. I had a different beauty mark. There's my clue. One has a beauty mark under the eye, and then the other body doesn't have a beauty mark at all. And the eye color is different. That's why I'm wearing glasses, and I'm glad you can't tell what my eye color is. What should it be? Should it be brown? Should it be hazel? Should it be green? What should it be? I've never been blue. So, it's like, what am I supposed to really look like? Today, I weighed so much. Okay, I won't tell you my actual weight. Forget it. No, that's too much information. But all of a sudden, I got a big belly again, and it's happening for the last month. That the belly just gets big, and I get it skinny, and then it gets big again, and I get it skinny. They don't want me to get skinny. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about them, but I keep getting bodies that are bigger, and it's just a challenge for me. So they change what I look like all the time, and it's because of who I am. So, and a lot of people know my identity and who I am, and that's why it's happening to me. Some people take it out on God for anything that's ever happened to them. It's not God's fault. You're here because of God, but you get to make your own choices and decisions while you're here. That was your choice. That was your decision. And if you fucked up, you fucked up. You have to live with what you've done. You have to live with your choices and your decisions. And if something happened to someone, it's not because God told them, go do this, or hell told them to go do this. They made their choice and decision for whatever reason, and they did something wrong. And they did something bad. They could have killed somebody. But it's not, God didn't want that to happen. Do you think God would want someone to kill someone and take them out on purpose? No. God wants to support all of you and wants to stand behind you and see you succeed in life and see you struggle and get over your struggles and get over your hurdles and make the best of your life while you're here. So that's what God is. I think I'm going to wrap it up. And I told you a lot of information, and you can take it with a grain of salt, and you can think I'm crazy. Because, I've been on medicine 15 years of my life, and they say I'm a paranoid person. And I was paranoid at one point, but they were giving me paranoid medicine. Really. So that's what started the whole medicine thing. And then they say I'm schizophrenic because I believe I'm God. You can believe what you want. but the light of the sun follows me. And I am alone, really. I have two people that I talk to in my life, and my boyfriend, and my kid. And those are four people in my life, and that's it. I'm lonely. And I wanted to make church and go to church so I can get connections to try to get the job that I need to get so I can live on enough money, because I don't have any money right now for food, gas, or cigarettes. And I smoke. I'm a chain smoker. Always have been. Since 15. It's a hard habit to give up. And I still haven't found the strength. And because of who I am, I'm not going to find that strength. I just have to find the strength within to give it up someday. But I don't want to. I enjoy it, and no one's going to tell me what the fuck to do. And when I'm ready, I'll try it again. And I've tried it many times, and I just can't seem to stick to it. And stick to quitting. I enjoy it. It helps relax me for all that I go through. And don't think I haven't went through things, because I have. And we all have our hurdles, and we all have our struggles, and even God has struggles. And I could prove it that who I am, but I'm not going to do that. No. I gave you enough information that I was Jesus's mom, Mary, and I got my memory back 5 years ago. They had wiped it all the time. I never knew really who I was until I realized the first time I said I was God, I was probably 16 years ago. That was the first time, and I was in the past and doing some, not doing anything, but just trying to follow what the rules are. There's rules to what I do while I'm here, and I follow rules. Not strict rules, but rules can be broken. I'm not supposed to say I'm God. I was never supposed to say that to anyone, for real. And I was never supposed to let anyone in on that. But I did it for a reason the first time, because the house was shaking and I felt like it was going to collapse. And I just said, I'm God. And it quit. And it got better. And I wrote the timeline of what everything happened. I wrote stories of people from the past, and I've talked to people here on my Facebook and told them things about their lives that how do you know that? Who are you? Why do you know those things about me that nobody else would know? So I know people, and they're even in another country, and I know everything about them. I know a lot about a lot of people, and some people that makes them paranoid. They don't want me to know anything about anybody. They'd rather have me on medicine and not know who I am, and calm my mind down so I think and live for today and tomorrow and forget about everything that they've done in the past. So then I can't fix it. So I can't get everybody up to heaven or everybody down to hell. I do things when nobody's watching because I don't want them to learn from me. And I'm complicated, and I like my alone time, and I talk to myself a lot because I'm alone, and I would like to be working, but I'm afraid I'm going to see a dead person and start talking to them, and then they're going to be like, she's nuts. I don't want to. I want to fit in. I've always had trouble fitting in my real life, and I have people ruin my reputation in my real life. So I've been through a lot. Not very accepted, and I don't know if it's jealousy. I don't know if they think I'm trying to take over their job, or if I'm too good, or and too smart, and maybe I just don't relate well to people who are strangers, and I'm kind of scared of them as much as they're scared of me, because I know too much. I know too much about people who don't like other people. I can sense stuff. I can sense when someone is not so good, and they don't like me, and I can sense what if they did this or that to me, and it's been done before to other people. Who's to say they're not going to do it to me? That sounds paranoid. But I've been sick so much with swelled feet and so many problems that there's reason to be a little paranoid of people that even are close to me. Who's doing it, and how, and is it someone doing it to me, or is it just because I have a disease of some sort and I need to cure it? So I just ordered I'm going to order a bunch of vitamins and supplements and try to get myself where my feet aren't swollen. It's been a year and a half and no one's helped me. Doctors, they just said it's edema, and I think it's an infectious disease of some sort, or a blood clot that's going to travel and go hit my lung, and all of a sudden it's going to be bleeding, and they don't care. See, when you come off and you be someone that's of as much prominence and stature, and I don't meet some people's criteria, and they don't like me, I'm not liked by everyone. You're never going to be liked by everybody for real. You gotta like yourself. And I like myself. I'm happy. How can she be happy if she's got no one in her life? Because we make the best of what we're given. And I make the best of my life as it is. People are busy and in their own lives, and maybe they don't have the time, but my life is very controlled. And I've met people along the way, and I've tried to get in touch with them, and they've tried to get in touch with me. They'll wipe phone messages. All of a sudden I'll be talking to one person and it'll change to a different person. My life is very controlled. They don't want anything to happen to me. They choose who my friends are. They choose who's in my life. And some don't want me to work, and some want me to work, and some want to use me, and some want to change everything so it can be their way, and some want to be me and be a god. It's just complicated, and it gets frustrating, and it's typically women, and I'm sorry to disappoint you that I'm not a man, but I like to shop, and I like frilly things, and I like beautiful things that you've made along the way, and I'm so proud, and that's why I collect so many different things, because I see the beauty in what you've done, and it makes me proud. It really does, that it's came so far, and that you can do so many amazing things with what's here. And I'm sorry the diseases are here, and cancer should have never been, but it was created. It was a created disease, like a lot of the diseases, meant to make us sick, meant to kill us off, because someone decided they wanted to do that. And they made that choice or decision based upon whatever it is. Okay? So I have to fight people. And I usually do that when I sleep, not in my real life. So when I sleep, I have a busy life. And I try to make people have better lives, but I also try to fight my fight and keep it so it goes on for a long time, and fight people who aren't so good, and that want to destroy what's here. And to destroy what's here is usually nuclear or chemical or something that can take out a whole bunch, or make it so the land is wrecked. And why would you want to wreck something so beautiful? The land, the water. Well, we all deserve fresh water. We all deserve not to be homeless and to have something to eat. Nobody likes to starve. But it's not that bad. You starve for a few days, and then all of a sudden you feel full again. And your hunger pains go away. So starving's not so bad. But then you have to get used to eating again, which is hard, without throwing up. It's a challenge, so especially if you got down really a lot in weight. I've said a lot. And I hope you've enjoyed listening to me. And you can take me as a storyteller, or you can take me as spiritual. I didn't claim to be a religion, and I'm teaching you a class. And the reason I quit the first song in this book is because it said something like, the Lord is God, and the Lord is not God, the Lord is a man. And that's important to know. So, I told you who I was, and you don't have to believe me. I don't care. I'm not out to make you believe in me or to make you believe that there's a God. I was atheist while I'd been Tanya, which is really amazing because I should have always known who I was, but they wiped my memory. And I believed in science. I believed that science was what created everything from schooling, from high school. So I was atheist, yeah. God was atheist. Isn't that ironic? Isn't that crazy? That is really, really crazy. But it's true. And the reason I was atheist is because I couldn't see beyond, and I couldn't believe that someone could actually do all this. And it wasn't until I saw two angels so beautiful that I believed there was a heaven and that there was a hell. And then I saw a man walking through the clouds, and then I believed there was a Son of Man, and the Son of Man is created by God and whoever God was with, right? So then there's a Son of Man, and who's out to try to save things that are here. And the Son of Man isn't that. It was Jesus in the Bible, and they refer to a lot of Jesus about the Son of Man. But there is also the Son of Man that's going to be in Revelations, and who would that be? I'll never tell you. You'd have to figure it out for yourself. So, things happen along the way, and I can't tell you a lot of things, but I can tell you, you don't have to believe me, and you can think I'm full of shit, and you can still be stubborn and think that God is a guy, and you can still be stubborn and think that I should be of your color or your race, and you can still be stubborn and say, I don't meet your criteria, I do this, that, or the other thing, and there's no way that person is of stature enough to be a god. I'm better than that. And I should be it. It's not a competition. And it took a lot to get it all here. It took a lot to get it to make it so it goes on, and so that we can breathe, and so that we stay on the ground, and so the planets rotate, and so all of this stuff happens. It all happens in order to make it work. And if it's not working properly, it'll get too cold, or the ground will crumble, or the sky will fall, or anything can happen. You never know. Really, you never know what could happen. So, what else? I had a paper I wrote in Word, and I described what God is. And God accepts all of you, and God created colors for a test, just like the apple for Adam and Eve. It was a test to see, it was a test, and I enjoy tests. I enjoy trying to see what kind of choice or decision you're going to make, and to see how pure. Like, some people feel ashamed if they're not wearing any clothes. I'd love to walk outside and I'd be fine. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It's a body, and it's beautiful. And whether I'm big or small, or I've been small, I've been skinny when I was younger. It wasn't until baby and back surgery and all this medicine, especially the medicine that got me up as high as I am right now. Things happen to us. We go through things. We have obstacles to get over. We have things to get over. But what does it mean to be a God? You can't, you know, they could never sustain life in their lifetime if it took as long as I explained, 4-digit number and 70 zeros, and everything has to be the way it is with the right colors and everything else in order for it to all work and sustain life, so we can be alive and on the ground and breathing and not, breathing air that we can't breathe in and all dying. We all of this takes to work together in certain colors and certain this and certain that, or it won't work, and then it might end sooner, and it might not go on and for generations. So we're close to what I would call revelations. We're close to that. We really are, because there's a lot of people, and there's a lot of terrorists, and there's a lot of people that do things that, for whatever the reason it may be, that could cause the end of everything. And we're close to revelations. So, a scary time, and it's a time for hell. Some people do things wrong, and some of those people that do things wrong want it to go on, and don't want the terrorists to win. And some people, it's a game to some people. Push and push and push and push, and then if it starts to get fixed, then they get mad and they start pushing and pushing and pushing again to get it back to being chaos. Yes, some like chaos. They do. They like things to be stressful and chaotic. And some people like to hurt other people in different ways. People do all different kinds of things, but it is a time for hell. It is a time for hell to help us, and help us to go on, to help us so it can always go on. And so they'll stand up for those that are not able to stand up for themselves, and stand up for the rights of the people, and stand up for what they believe in, so people aren't starving and homeless and on the streets and treated poorly. For everybody deserves to be treated the way you'd want to be treated, with respect. So, anyways, it's a crazy world that we live in, isn't it? It is. It can be very, and you could be in your house and everything's not normal, everything's fine, and then you could walk by and somebody else could be going through something totally different than you, and about to lose it, and you don't know who that person might be. So always live each day like there's no tomorrow, and enjoy what's here, and find love, and love will get you through just about anything. But love can be the hardest thing if there's a breakup or something. It can be very challenging. And we can go into all these other kind of lessons and advice and things I've learned along the way to try to help you, help yourselves, and try to help you enjoy what's here. Because everybody deserves to enjoy something, and nobody should be at misery for their whole life. They have to find a way to forgive and to move on and to let go of some things. And it's very hard for some to do, and they don't know how. But I'm a perfect one to teach them if one of these lessons end up talking about that kind of stuff. And then maybe you'll see. Maybe you'll open your horizons or open your mind up to something new. And there's all different kinds of religions, though. I was going into religions, and Muslims pray to Allah, and the Hindus, they do something different. They have the little dots, and that God is protecting them. I learned that. That's kind of interesting. There's so many different religions, so many different. I'm just proud that you have something that's there, and that you have something that you believe in, and that you have something to fall back on when times are tough. So, and to pull you out. And then friendships you can make too by meeting other people that are into similar things as yourself. And friendships are great. But I'm going to wrap it up. So have a blessed night.